Welcome, I'm Sue from createwithsue.com, and today we're going to look at how to activate your vinyl blade kit. Very similar to other kits that are on the Brother list to activate, so it works just the same, but this one is particularly for the vinyl kit. Very easy. You'll find in the box, you'll find a sheet with the code on it. Just get it out for you. I have got a video on the unboxing if you're interested in that. So it's just a little credit card size leaflet, and inside is your code, and you just put the code in and activate it. So we'll go into Canvas Workspace now and have a look to see how we do it and where you'll find it. You can do it in both versions of Canvas Workspace, so it doesn't matter which one you choose, you can do it in both, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're in the downloaded version of Canvas Workspace, and if you pop this out, now I'll just go up to show you where you can activate it in the downloaded version. So you go up to Help, and you go to Account Settings, and you will see exactly the same as what was in the online version. You'll see the user information settings, machine registration, pattern collection and premium function, and there is where you activate it. And you will see your other activations there on the as you scroll down. So very easy to do. And what that gives you in the downloaded version that it doesn't give you in the online version, and I'll just pop this out, is on here on the left you'll see the various basic shapes and borders and words that come with the kit, with the basic installation of Canvas Workspace. And then you get your kits. So that's the rhinestone kit, the line embossing, the region embossing, the foiling kit, the roll feeder, and right down the bottom you will find your vinyl auto blade kit. And these are the designs that come with your installation of or activation of your vinyl blade. Lots of lovely designs. You are not restricted to these designs, and they are editable. So you can edit them slightly, probably a lot, I don't know, haven't tested it too much. I really like this one here with the whale, and you can see he fits perfectly on a 12 by 12 bat, which is great. If he didn't, just say you wanted him bigger, and you go over to the right here and to the edit panel, this one here on the right that I'm pointing to, you will see that he is 10.59 inches by 10.23 high. With the maintain aspect ratio checked or ticked, you can increase his size to make him bigger, to say you're doing a wall design or something with him. Now he's quite big, he's not going to fit on a 12 by 12 or even a 12 by 20 format. So we'll just go down to the artboard here, and you can see what he would look like on a 12 by 20 format, and he still doesn't fit, not quite. If you've got a roll feeder, you may fit him on the rolled material feeder. He still doesn't quite fit with this design. So what you have in the vinyl auto blade kit is in this premium section up here on the top left, right next to the help. You drop that down and you will find tiling. Now this is a downloaded version only ability, and it will give the option to break up the design without you having to manually do it into smaller mat sizes so that you can piece this design together. You have the option to overlap, so you could overlap the design slightly. You can, so we have, that's got a bit of an overlap there. Not really worried about overlapping. We'll just take that back off. And you also have the ability to add a weeding box, and the weeding box default is 0.12 inches. Which is pretty close, so that's probably a good option. Default, you can change that if you wish. make it bigger or less, whichever's easier. The default with none, it brings it a bit close. Possibly I would just stick with the default of 0.12. Let's put that back in there. We've got that. It's up to you whether you have a weeding box, of course. It makes it a little bit easier to weed. And this is your tiling. If you give it a name here, you can give it a name, any name you want. We'll just put whale, and we can export the split design here. And then you just pop it wherever you want to save it. You just save it to your desktop. If you wanted to, it'll come up as whale because that's what we gave it a name of. Now, this isn't all you can do with it. So there's a few tricks you can do with this. Some of it is, I'll just put it back on a 12 by 12 for a minute. Roll material, 12 by 12. And we might just bring this design in from scratch again. So we'll just go File, New. No, we don't want to save it. And pop him back in on a 12 by 12. Show the ruler. I've got a few things disappeared on me. And show matte. There we go. So what we can also do is use the offset feature. So once again in the edit panel, and down here you will see offset. And we can go inward or outward, round or bevel. Obviously it's a fairly rounded design, so round's probably the way to go. And in this instance I want to create an outside offset only. So you do have the option of creating it internally as well if you wanted a different layered effect, but I want to create a backing, basically a backing for it. So I'm going to choose create an offset line around the outer edge, and we'll go OK. Now you can't probably see too much now. You can also change the distance to, just go back into that so you can see what one we had. We had 0.8, often it comes up at 0.20. I like 0.8, so I usually just leave it on 0.8, 0.08 to be precise. Now, so you can see this a little better, we'll go over into the Layers panel, and you can see that that is the original grouped shape, and this is up here our offset shapes. You can see the various letters highlighting. We can group that. We might group the name together. The wording together, and go Control G, or down the bottom here you'll see you can group, or up the top in the layer panel you can group. It's already grouped, so we'll just ungroup it and group it in there. And we're just going to move that to the side for the moment. So that's the backing layer for this. Now at the moment, I'll just capture this shape too, and we'll give this a bit of colour. So this is a whale, give it a name too, whale backing. You can see the knives out, so these are all cut files. You could change them to draw if you wish to draw them. That would work as well. And we'll give this some colour. We'll go up into the properties and fill it with like a dark pale blue perhaps. And because he's sitting on top, that layer is on top, we can arrange him to the centre back, or we could just have simply dragged that design to where we wanted to. So if I wanted him back up the top, he would be up at the top, or we pop him down the bottom because we want him down the bottom. So you can see that other design as well. We'll give the whole group. So you can choose these objects individually. You can see them highlighting with their blue boxes around there to make any adjustments you want to do on individual shapes. Or you can select them as a group because they're in a group, and we'll go up to the Properties panel and choose another colour, and we'll choose a nice lighter blue. There we go. So with these two, I'll just give you a look at that. We chose that blue. And once again, into the layers panel, or you can do it up here in the arrange, layers panel, arrange, center back, and you can see what it will look like. So that's the offset. Now what if we wanted to create this design quite big? We could use the tiling feature, as we've already looked at, or we could also just change the angle of the whale, because at the moment, even if we use the roll feeder, it would not cut without tiling. We can go into the edit and increase the size, so we want to keep it in proportion still. So that's then you can see the sizing here on the right changing. It should still fit on the roll feeder in 1. And I'll just bring this down in scale a bit so we zoom out a little bit. What we can also do is choose just the wording. So already we've got that wording selected, and just use my arrow keys to bring it away a little bit. But we can't actually do that with this one at the moment, so we can ungroup that. And choose just those bits. Hold your shift key down and it will capture all of those separate pieces. We can go Control G to group them just so they're their own group, away from the whale. Bring them straight, so we can do them that way. So what if we just wanted this shape and this shape? So we hold our Control key down to select those two shapes and go up to Premium and just see how they fit. Do they need tiling still? Okay. So they're still tiling on a 12 by 12. So if that's all you've got, that's fine. You could place the wording somewhere where it is viable. Let's go back and do that actually. We'll just cancel that for a minute. Let's select the two pieces of the whale, Control key down, and we'll just arrow them right down. I might be able to just do it like that. It's easier. And we'll bring them down further. You obviously wouldn't be able to cut it. You'd have to cut it in two separate passes anyway. Let's see how that tiles. Go back up to Premium, Tiling. So this is a little bit of trial and error with the designs that you choose and how you want them, how big you want them. So now we would have, this is still on a 12 by 12 mat, if that's all you've got. We have all the name or the wording on one mat, which would cut out in one easily. Got his nose on a separate mat and room down here. So I would cancel him a bit more and move him down a bit more. That might be too much. We might move this one back up. All right, give that a go. Tiling. If you've got a 12 by 20 format, it will make a difference too. Or the roll feeder. The roll feeder as well. The roll feeder doesn't quite cut 12 inches. Oh, we still got a little tiny bit of his tail. I've just moved it down a little too much, but that's okay. We could move him back up possibly about that much. So you get the idea that you can just adjust to suit. Now if you had so if we do it on the rolled material, you'll see what it converts to as well. It'll split the writing this time, but you could turn that writing on its side and run it down the roll feeder that way. That would fit. Takes a little while to process. It does on my laptop anyway. Okay, so he's a little bit too wide. You can see here that he's just a little bit too wide for it to be on the roll feeder. However, we've got some room over to the left here. We moved him over to the left. So play with your designs to get them as big as you want. It will go quite large and you're not really restricted by too much at all. And there it would be on 12 by 24. So the cut line is there, or the tiled line is there. And you would join your pieces up. Once you're happy, you can add a weeding box as well and give it a name. Okay, so there's the weeding box. I would have thought it may have chopped it off there, but never mind, it hasn't. That might be if you remove the spacing, it possibly would. And when you're ready, export it to your desktop or wherever you're going to save it to. I often save it to my E drive because I have no room on my laptop. I usually use an expansion drive there. I'm just going to cancel that because I'm not going to save this particular one. I'll cancel that. We will import from your computer and design. Here's the whale. So we can bring in and pick a nice blue colour. And this one too. And you can see he would align like that when you piece him back together. Just like that. You can see if you wanted to overlap him a little bit, you could. That overlap request could do an overlap, but I think in most instances your designs will be fine if you didn't overlap. You would just join them up like that. Alright, so takeaway from this is aim to have your tiling as easy as possible. You can edit the design and create offsets and separate pieces from the design to cut them differently. You can resize as required. And all these features only operate in the download version of Canvas Workspace. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.